And our next and final hero is Bruce Smith, and he has quite a story from Van Buren.
My name is Luke Dyer. I'm a sergeant with the Van Buren Police Department, and I've nominated Bruce Smith, who was responsible for saving the life of Van Buren Chief of Police Michael Brissett on the morning of January the 22nd, 2019. Weather is pretty unpredictable in the north, as you can imagine, and very high winds and loose blowing snow in Sear Plantation created absolutely probably the worst conditions on the road I'd seen in 30 years. Ultimately ended up creating a multi-vehicle pileup. Chief Brissett received a call about the crash and left our patrol to go check and see what the situation was. Other units were responding from other responsible agencies, but they would be at least a half hour away from the crash scene. When Chief arrived on scene, he went to go render aid to a DOT plow truck driver that had been struck by a vehicle. And there were several vehicles that were off the road and a few that had actually collided with each other out there at that time. Chief's wife and daughter actually were also involved in the accident before he had arrived. And he had walked up to just try to tell drivers to stay in their vehicles. As he walked up to just tell people to stay in their cars, he turned around to walk back down towards where the DOT driver was standing with somebody else. A vehicle came through the whiteout, an SUV, and struck him right in the roadway. Chief flew nearly 70 feet down the road. He ended up landing in the middle of the roadway. He had a leg broken in 4 places, a broken pelvis. His shoulder was out of socket and the shoulder ball was chipped off. Obviously dazed, confused, and knowing that there's still oncoming cars and he needed to attempt to get himself out of the roadway. Inch by inch he tried to maneuver himself out of the road. A vehicle came by him while he still lay in the road, and I could hear other cars crashing behind him. At one point, a vehicle pulled up and stopped, and that individual was Bruce Smith. Bruce is a paint specialist for Coastal Auto Parts, representing Napa. And Bruce, along with somebody else on scene, Bruce said, "Get him in my car."
It was like a war scene when I pulled in. When I got there, when I saw him, I didn't even see the pickup, the state truck, or anything that was wrecked in front of me. All I saw was the officer. I didn't know who it was, the gentleman crawling across the road. Had to get him into safety, so I got him in my car. The three, the state worker, the lady, and myself got him in the passenger seat of my car. And he just kept saying, "Carrie, Carrie," and I was like, "I don't know, Carrie. It's Carrie Medical." And I was like, he finally told me Caribou, so away we went. I told him on the way to the hospital, I was like, "You must talk to me on the way down. I want to know your name, all that stuff." I said, "You can lie to me because I don't know anything about you, but you must talk to me just to stay awake on the way down." And it was very interesting. The man is calling in to work to let work know, the lady at the office, that he wouldn't be back in to work today because he had been struck by a vehicle.
Chief actually called the town office here to tell him he wouldn't be in for the rest of the day, and just finally made it to the hospital. Regretfully, Chief's wife and daughter saw him get struck, but would not know what happened to him for over an hour.
As I came upon, I got him into my car, and we turned the way we went. Later on, I was talking to his wife, and she said, "Was you driving the little white car?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "Well, I had made a comment, that's the smartest person on the hill right now, getting out of here. Little did I know, my husband was in the passenger seat of your car." And she had said to me at the hospital, she goes, "So it's true, a knight in shining armor does ride White Stallion."
But Bruce is a hero to the officers of the Van Buren Police and the community of the town of Van Buren. He really is, and to Chiefs and his family. I mean, we can't give our heartfelt thanks enough to him. If it wasn't for him, I believe that we'd be here today mourning our chief's loss rather than celebrating the fact that at some point he's going to be able to come back to work with us.
I didn't consider myself a hero. I just did what anyone should actually do. When it comes down to it, help each other out.
He made a decision to do the best that he could do in one of the most dangerous situations a person could be in. And because of that decision, he saved another man's life.
And the conditions in Sierra Plantation that day were just horrendous. I remember the whiteout conditions down here, and they were even worse on that open stretch of road.
What an amazing story that is. And again, someone who just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And again, what a selfless act. Absolutely someone very courageous and well-deserving.